In the vast expanse of the Orion Arm, humanity had always been seen as the newcomers, the underdogs of the galactic community. We weren't the fastest, strongest, or most technologically advanced species out there. But there was something about us that the other civilizations couldn't quite figure out: our unwavering commitment to repaying our debts, no matter the cost. I'm Captain Sarah Chen of the merchant vessel Star Wanderer, and this story isn't just mine. It's a testament to humanity's spirit that changed the galaxy's perception of us forever. 5 years ago, our ship was caught in a devastating ion storm on the edges of the Centauri belt. Our engines were failing, life support was critical, and we had 26 souls aboard with less than 2 hours of oxygen remaining. That's when the Kurith, an ancient spacefaring species known for their isolationist policies, broke their own sacred laws to rescue us. They didn't ask for payment, didn't demand anything in return. They simply stated, life is precious, regardless of origin. We were saved, but in the eyes of humanity, we now owed a debt. 3 standard years passed, and the galaxy had almost forgotten about that small act of kindness. Almost. Until the day we received the distress signal from a Kurith science vessel, stranded in the heart of the Perseus Void, a region so dangerous that even military ships avoided it. The Galactic Council deemed any rescue attempt as suicide and refused to help. But we remembered our debt. I gathered a volunteer crew from across Earth's colonies: engineers, pilots, medical staff, all humans, all aware of the risks, all willing to face the impossible odds. The Galactic Council called us foolish. Other species questioned our sanity. Why risk everything for a debt that no one expects you to repay? They asked. They didn't understand that this wasn't about expectation. This was about who we are as a species. As we prepare to jump into the Perseus Void, I look at my crew's determined faces. Officer Tom Reynolds at navigation, his hands steady despite the fear I know he feels. Dr. Linda Popple in medical, double-checking her supplies for the 20th time. Chief Engineer David Wilson, who hasn't slept in 36 hours, making sure our modified shields will hold. The void looms before us on our view screen, a swirling mass of quantum storms and gravitational anomalies. Somewhere in that chaos, a Kurith crew awaits help that only we are willing to provide. The same species that once staved us without hesitation now needs our help, and humanity will answer that call. Our ship's AI begins the countdown for the jump sequence. 10 seconds. The crew straps in, and I feel the familiar pre-jump tension in my stomach. 5 seconds. The shield harmonics hum louder, and I grip my captain's chair tighter. 3 seconds. I think about my family back on Earth, wondering if I'll see them again. 1 second. As our ship prepares to plunge into one of the most dangerous regions of known space, I realize that this mission is about more than just repaying a debt. It's about showing the galaxy that humanity's word means something, that when we say we'll do something, we follow through, no matter the odds. The jump begins, and our ship shudders violently. Warning alarms blare as we enter the void, and I catch glimpses of impossible colors swirling outside our viewports. We're committed now. There's no turning back. What we'll find in the Perseus Void, whether we'll survive this mission, and how the galaxy will remember this moment, those are questions that only time will answer. But one thing is certain: humanity always pays its debts, even if it costs us everything. And this debt, well, let's just say the galaxy is about to learn exactly what human determination looks like. The Perseus Void tears at our ship like an angry beast. The modified shields hold, but each quantum surge makes the hull groan in protest. Through the chaos, Officer Reynolds maintains our course, his eyes fixed on the sensor readings as he navigates through the impossible. Behind me, I hear the engineering crew working frantically to keep our systems stable. Captain, Dr. Patel's voice comes through the comm, steady despite the situation. I've prepared the medical bay for potential Kurith casualties. Their biology is different from ours, but I've studied their medical records from our previous encounter. We'll do what we can. That's what I love about humans. We adapt, we learn, we prepare. The Kurith might be centuries ahead of us in technology, but we make up for it with sheer determination and resourcefulness. A massive energy wave hits us, and the ship lurches violently. Shield integrity at 62%. Chief Wilson reports from engineering, the strain evident in his voice. Captain, there's something odd about these energy patterns. They're not random. They're almost purposeful. I lean forward in my chair, studying the sensor data. He's right. The quantum storms aren't behaving like natural phenomena. They're moving in patterns, almost like they're being directed. But that's impossible. The void is supposed to be empty except for the distressed Karith vessel. New contact. Reynolds calls out suddenly. Bearing 347 Mark II. It's, Captain, you need to see this. The main screen flickers to life, showing something that shouldn't exist. Through the swirling chaos of the void, we see massive structures. Ancient and alien, yet clearly artificial. They float like silent sentinels, their surfaces covered in symbols that pulse with the same energy as the surrounding storms. Those structures. Our science officer Alice Porter speaks up, her voice filled with awe. They're generating the quantum storms. The void isn't natural. It's engineered. The revelation hits us all like a physical force. The Perseus void, this region of space that every species has avoided for millennia, isn't just a natural hazard. It's technology beyond our comprehension, built by someone or something. And somewhere in the middle of this ancient mystery is a Karith science vessel that needs our help. Captain, Reynolds' voice drops to almost a whisper. I'm picking up the Karith distress signal. It's coming from inside one of those structures. The crew falls silent. We came here prepared for a dangerous rescue mission in hostile space. Instead, we've stumbled upon something that could rewrite our understanding of the galaxy. The Karith must have discovered this too. Is that why they're here? Is that why they need help? A new alarm sounds, and Chief Wilson's voice comes through again. Captain, the shield harmonics are starting to align with the energy patterns out there. It's like the structures are trying to communicate with our systems. I make a decision. Hold our position. Porter, start recording everything. Wilson, let the shields align if that's what they're trying to do. But be ready to reverse it if anything goes wrong. Reynolds, plot us a course to that structure, but don't move yet. As my crew acknowledges their orders, I can't help but think about the weight of this moment. We came here to repay a debt, but we might have found something far bigger than ourselves. The Karith saved us once, and now their distress call has led us to what could be the greatest discovery in human history. But first, we need to find them. And in this engineered maze of quantum energy and ancient technology, that might prove to be even more challenging than we imagined. The structures continue their silent pulse, and I can't shake the feeling that we're being watched, studied, tested, by what or whom, I don't know, but we're about to find out. The shield harmonics stabilize as we approach the massive structure, its surface now glowing with patterns that pulse in sync with our ship's systems. The closer we get, the more detail we can make out. The structure isn't just one piece, but layers upon layers of interlocking geometric shapes, each moving independently yet in perfect coordination. Energy signatures are unlike anything in our database. Porter reports, her fingers flying over her console. The material composition. It's not even registering as matter as we know it. This technology is so advanced it might as well be magic. That's when we hear it, a sound that shouldn't be possible in the vacuum of space. A deep, resonating hum that vibrates through the hull and seems to echo in our bones. The crew exchanges nervous glances, but everyone holds their position. We've come too far to turn back now. Karith vessel located, Reynolds announces, his voice tight with tension. It's suspended in some kind of energy field inside the main chamber. Life signs detected. They're alive, Captain, but their ship's systems are completely offline. I lean forward, studying the holographic display. The Karith vessel hangs motionless, surrounded by swirling bands of energy that remind me of auroras back on Earth. But something's not right. The position of their ship, the way it's perfectly centered in that chamber. This doesn't look like an accident or a malfunction. Chief Wilson, I call over the comm, can we establish a direct communication link with their vessel? Negative, Captain, but, he pauses, and I hear the confusion in his voice. The structure itself is opening a channel. It's like it's inviting us in. Before I can respond, the massive geometric patterns before us begin to shift and realign. A pathway appears, leading directly to the chamber where the Kareth ship is held. It's too perfect, too convenient. Captain, Dr. Patel's voice comes through, uncharacteristically urgent. The crew's biosignals, they're in some kind of stasis. Their life signs are stable but extremely low. Whatever's happening in there, it's affecting them directly. I make the call that could either save everyone or doom us all. Reynolds, take us in. Porter, record everything. Wilson, the moment anything feels wrong, I want full reverse thrust, no questions asked. Our ship glides forward, guided by invisible forces through the pathway. The hum grows stronger, and now there's something else. A sensation of being scanned, analyzed, judged. The crew feels it too. I can see it in their tense shoulders and focused expressions. As we enter the main chamber, the full scale of what we're dealing with becomes clear. The space around us is alive with moving patterns of light and energy, all converging on a central point above the Kareth vessel. And there, floating in that convergence, is something that defies description, a shifting, multidimensional object that seems to exist in more spatial dimensions than our minds can process. Captain, Porter whispers, her scientific detachment cracking, I think it's some kind of test. The words have barely left her mouth when the object above us pulses, and every screen on our bridge lights up with symbols we've never seen before. They scroll faster than any human eye can follow, yet somehow I understand their meaning. This isn't just a test, it's a challenge, one that humanity has unknowingly been preparing for since our first steps into space. The Kareth aren't in danger. They're part of this test. And now, our response to their distress signal has brought us here, to face something that could either elevate humanity to heights we never imagined or prove that we're not ready for the wider galaxy. The object pulses again, and I feel a presence in my mind, ancient, vast, curious. In that moment, I realize that our mission to repay a debt has led us to humanity's greatest trial, and what happens next will depend not on our technology or our weapons, but on something uniquely human, something this ancient intelligence seems very interested in understanding. The chamber falls silent, the lights dim, and in the stillness we wait for the test to begin. In the eerie silence of the chamber, Porter's voice cuts through like a knife. Captain, the Kareth ship, its systems are powering up, but there's no one inside anymore. The crew has vanished. Before I can process this information, the ancient presence in my mind crystallizes into something more focused, more deliberate. Images flood my consciousness, not just any images, but memories. Not mine, but the Kareth's. I see their rescue of our ship 3 years ago, but from their perspective. I feel their thoughts, their reasoning. Everyone. I struggle to find the words. The Kareth knew. They knew about this place, about this test. When they saved us, they weren't just being charitable. They were marking humanity as ready. The multidimensional object above us splits into countless fragments, each one projecting a different scene from human history. I recognize some of them. The first moon landing, the Mars colonization, the Jupiter Accord. But mixed with these triumphs are smaller moments, countless instances of humans helping each other, sacrificing for strangers, standing up against impossible odds. These aren't just random memories. Chief Wilson's voice trembles with realization. They're studying our capacity for compassion, our willingness to help others even at our own expense. The revelation hits me like a physical blow. The Kareth aren't victims. They're facilitators. For millennia, they've been testing species across the galaxy, not for their technology or their power, but for something far more fundamental, their capacity for altruism. Suddenly, the chamber's energy patterns shift dramatically. The gentle hum becomes a roar, and new images appear, devastating ones. Wars, environmental disasters, genocides. The darker side of human history plays out before us in brutal clarity. They're showing us everything, Reynolds whispers, the good and the bad. They want to know if we're worth the risk. The ship's systems begin to fluctuate wildly. Warning alarms blare as unknown energy signatures penetrate our hull. Dr. Patel's voice crackles through the comm. Captain, the crew's brainwave patterns are synchronizing with the chamber's energy field. Whatever's happening, it's affecting all of us. That's when I understand the true nature of the test. It's not just about our past actions or our potential future. It's about what we'll choose to do right now, in this moment, when faced with the ultimate decision. The ancient presence reaches out again, this time with an offer that makes my blood run cold. They show us technology beyond our wildest dreams, knowledge that could catapult humanity centuries ahead. All we have to do is prove we deserve it. But the price is something none of us expected. Captain, Porter's voice shakes as she reads the data. They're offering us membership in some kind of galactic coalition. But they want us to judge another species, just like the Kareth judged us. They want us to decide if another civilization lives or dies. The chamber pulses with anticipation, waiting for our response. The power to shape the destiny of another species. It's a test of not just our compassion, but our wisdom, our humanity. And in this moment, I realize why the Kareth chose to save us that day in the ion storm. They saw something in us that even we don't fully understand. Something that's about to be tested in a way no one aboard could have imagined. The ancient presence presses for an answer, and the chamber's energy begins to coalesce around our ship. Time is running out. Whatever choice we make here won't just affect us. It will ripple across the galaxy for generations to come. I look at my crew's faces, each one showing the same mix of awe and terror that I feel. We came here to repay a debt, but now we're facing a test that will define humanity's place in the universe, and the answer we give will either open the stars to us or condemn us to isolation forever. The choice is ours, and the galaxy holds its breath, waiting to see what humans will do when given the power to shape the fate of worlds. No! The word echoes through the chamber, and I realize I've spoken it aloud. We refuse to judge another species. That's not our right, and it never will be. The ancient presence recoils, confusion rippling through the energy field. The offer of advanced technology, of power beyond measure, still hangs in the air, but something else is happening. The fragments of the multidimensional object begin to spin faster, analyzing our response. Captain, Porter calls out, her voice filled with wonder. The energy signatures, they're changing. It's like they're pleased. I stand from my chair, addressing not just the presence but whatever civilization created this test. Humanity has made countless mistakes. We've hurt each other, destroyed parts of our world, and we're still learning. But we know one thing for certain. Progress without wisdom is just another form of destruction. We won't sacrifice our humanity for power, and we won't condemn others to prove our worth. The chamber erupts in blinding light. The Kareth crew materializes on our bridge, but they're different now. Their usually stoic faces show something I never thought possible. They're smiling. The eldest among them steps forward, his voice resonating with ancient knowledge. For 10,000 years, we have tested species across this galaxy. All were given the same choice, power in exchange for becoming judges of others. All accepted, and all eventually destroyed themselves with that power. Until now. The truth crashes over us like a wave. The real test wasn't about judging others. It was about refusing to judge, about understanding the responsibility that comes with power. Suddenly, the structure around us begins to transform. The geometric patterns flatten, revealing something that takes our breath away, a map. Not just of our galaxy, but of hundreds of galaxies, all connected by lines of light. Your species has proven something remarkable. The Kareth Elder continues. Not just compassion, but wisdom. The wisdom to know your limitations, to understand that true advancement comes not from power over others, but from power over ourselves. The ancient presence touches our minds one last time, but now its message is clear. We see images of countless civilizations, all at different stages of development, all finding their own paths among the stars. We weren't being tested to become judges. We were being tested to become guardians. The debt you thought you owed us, the Elder says, was merely the key to finding your true purpose. Humanity's role isn't to judge or to rule, but to protect. To ensure that every species has the chance to grow, to make their own mistakes, to find their own way. As these words sink in, the map begins to glow brighter, and new paths appear, paths that humanity had never dreamed existed. But there's something else, something hidden in the Elder's expression. There's more, isn't there? I ask, recognizing the look of someone holding back crucial information. The Elder nods gravely. The ancient ones who built this place, they left because they saw something coming. Something that threatens not just one species or one galaxy, but all of existence. They've been waiting for a species that would choose wisdom over power, because only such a species could face what's coming and not lose their soul in the process. The chamber dims, and in the darkness, we see it, a shadow moving between the galaxies, consuming light itself. The true test wasn't about proving our worth to join some cosmic coalition. It was about finding someone who would face the darkness without becoming it. As the vision fades, I look at my crew at the Kareth, at the ancient map showing us paths among the stars. We came here to repay a debt and found our destiny instead. Humanity's journey wasn't about to end. It was about to begin. The Elder steps forward, holding out what looks like a simple crystal. Your real test starts now, Captain. The question isn't whether humanity will face the darkness. It's how we'll face it together. I take the crystal, feeling its weight in more ways than one. As our ship's systems begin interfacing with the ancient technology, I realize that every choice, every act of kindness, every moment of compassion in human history has led us to this point. We weren't just ready for the stars. We were ready for something far greater, the responsibility to ensure that every species gets their chance to reach them. The journey back to Earth felt different somehow. Our ship, now integrated with technology we barely understood, moved through space with an elegance that seemed almost alive. The crystal the Kareth Elder gave us pulsed softly in its new housing in our engine room, its power revolutionizing our systems in ways Chief Wilson was still trying to comprehend. The Kareth vessel traveled alongside us, no longer just allies but partners in a mission that spanned galaxies. During our return journey, they shared stories of other species they tested over the millennia, brilliant civilizations that had ultimately chosen power over wisdom, and in doing so sealed their own fate. You know what's funny? Dr. Paddle said during one of our evening briefings, we spent so much time thinking we owed them a debt, when really they were in our debt. They needed us to be exactly who we are, stubborn, compassionate humans who just couldn't walk away from someone in need. Porter hadn't left her science station for more than a few hours since we began our return journey. The ancient map had given her more data about the universe than all of Earth's scientists had gathered in our entire history. The shadow between galaxies, she mused, it's not just one thing. It's like a cancer in space itself, spreading slowly but steadily. We might be the first species to spot it early enough to actually do something about it. Reynolds, ever practical, had already begun plotting new navigation routes using the map's data. We're not just looking at faster travel, he explained. These paths the ancients left us. They're like cosmic highways, connecting everything in ways we never imagined possible. As Earth appeared on our view screen, I thought about how to explain what happened to the UN Space Council. How do you tell humanity that we're not just part of a larger galactic community, but that we've been chosen as its defenders? That our greatest strength wasn't our technology or our intelligence, but our stubborn insistence on doing what's right, even when it seems impossible. The Kareth Elder's voice came through our comm system one last time before we entered Earth's orbit. Your people will face challenges in the days ahead. Some will want to use this knowledge for power, others will fear the responsibility it brings. But we chose humanity for a reason. You understand something that took us millennia to learn. True strength lies not in the ability to judge others, but in the wisdom to help them grow. As we descended through Earth's atmosphere, I look at the crystal's glow reflecting off my crew's faces. We had gone into the Perseus void thinking we were repaying a debt, but we had found something far more valuable, a purpose. Humanity's next chapter wouldn't be about conquest or dominion, but about protection and guidance. The crystal pulses one last time, and I see a brief vision. thousands of species across countless galaxies, all growing, learning, evolving, and humanity standing not above them, but among them, helping light the way through the darkness that approaches. Captain, Reynolds calls out, UN Space Council is requesting our landing report. What should I tell them? I smile, thinking of how this story began, with a simple rescue in an ion storm, and where it led us. Tell them. I pause, looking at my crew, at the Kareth ship alongside us, at the crystal that represented both our future and our responsibility. Tell them humanity just repaid a debt, and in doing so, found its place among the stars. As our ship touches down, I realize that this isn't the end of our story. It's barely the beginning. The real adventure, humanity's greatest journey, is just about to start. And somewhere out there, between the galaxies, the darkness moves. But this time, it won't be moving unopposed, because when humans repay a debt, the galaxy never forgets, and neither do we.